Can I ask you about so this is specific for Veve, right? The background behind how you guys set up the app, right? In terms of like not needing crypto to buy NFTs, right? And so, with this recent news that's kind of come out about Amazon potentially launching a platform with not even using, crypto at all to buy their NFTs potentially, like we'll see what they actually come out with, but that's kind of what people are talking about. That's sort of the news that's come out. Whether it gets confirmed, we'll wait. But with this whole notion of them not really looking at crypto as a pay-in option for their NFT marketplace potentially, and you guys having the similar sort of setup, at least in the early stages here in the beginning, my interpretation of that kind of thing from Amazon's point of view is they want to get the masses in who don't understand crypto, might be freaked out of it, and maybe a way for them to bridge the gap with their customers and just make it easy, right? So is this the sort of the mentality that you and David and everybody have there? Like, I know we want crypto pay-in at some point, and it's coming, and that satisfies people with a lot of OMI and crypto and all that, but it also makes it easy for the regular Joe to get in here. And is that sort of kind of the thinking you guys had, like, from the beginning, or what?
Yes, absolutely. We wanted to make sure that it was a safe and easy onboarding experience, right? Now, obviously, there are things that have kind of, put a little bit of a wrench in that, be it KYC and AML regulations and having to do KYC right up front before buying everything. So we're working on that, as we've mentioned. But yeah, we've always wanted this to be a turnkey solution for people who were, into the idea of digital collectibles and maybe NFT or crypto curious, and so we think that, Amazon doing the same thing is a great move for the industry as a whole. I think generally, as Amazon has a far-reaching ecosystem that expands beyond, just buying of goods on their website. It's, they have hands in so much now that I think it makes perfect sense for them to. And I don't know if I don't even know if they have crypto purchase as a payment, crypto as a payment on Amazon as a whole. I don't know if maybe they
no,
do.
I don't think so. Yeah, they were talking about with the new this kind of news that's been kind of put out there, which hasn't come directly from Amazon as far as I can see. It's just when they're doing their potential marketplace with like maybe 15 different collections or whatever, I don't know what those will look like or what they'll be, but no crypto pay-in option at that point. Like they'll just use your credit card. And I don't think they have any of that on their website at all. Like, I don't think that's something they're looking at, but they did say yet. It said yet, right? So they're obviously thinking,
I mean, they're taking, a page out of the, the Apple handbook and even to some extent kind of pushing the envelope on that front more so to make a very turnkey solution for all of their product lines, right?
Yeah.
So like I have an Echo array in the house, right? Like the little Amazon Echoes, Alexas, whatever. I try not to say the actual word because then she starts answering me. But
also the lights go out.
Yeah, exactly. I play the music. Usually to play music all around the house. But like when I order that on the site, they come and they're already set up. Like all I have to do is basically use the app and it recognizes that it's already tied to my account. It's just by nature of the fact that I've purchased it. So I think, using that as a kind of far off example, but like they are basically trying to use what you've set up as far as a profile and all the payment methods that you have saved in their account already to easily just drive you into a new product vertical, which is for them NFT/digital collectibles. And I think that's great. So it'll get more people used to the idea, and they're like, oh, this isn't some kind of crypto only thing, and it's somebody that I know and use every day and pay yearly for in Prime and use to watch videos on my Apple TV or whatever the case is also offering digital collectibles. And maybe this is something that I'd like to look into. And if they offer something very cool, then maybe it'll inspire people to go seek out more types of collectibles. And where better to go than the place with the best IP on this side of the world? It is Veve Digital Collectibles, of course. So that's just kind of how the thinking we're taking with it. And so I definitely welcome more players in the space. I don't know if what the timeline is on that. I know they've announced it, but I'm looking forward to it. Definitely.
Yeah, something like April or whatever. Like, where do you see, I don't know how much time you have, Alex, just let me know, but
not much, but go ahead.
Yeah, I figured. So like, where do you think we are in the grand scheme of things with Web3? Like, when people have been posting as a result of this Sesame Street, because of the amount of people who aren't in the space who are like, what? And then going back in time now, going, well, like, yeah, 94, look at this article when everyone was like, internet, what? Like, and then it took like, you know what I mean? Like, this kind of connecting the sort of like, and I've talked about this before. We've talked about it, about sort of like this kind of evolution of like what's going on in just online and digital stuff and NFTs and Web3 and the internet itself and all that stuff. Like, where do you think we are? Like, I mean, like, I know it's a hard question to answer, but like, I put us like mid 90s, if I was to compare it to the internet revolution, like 95, 96, it's out there. People are picking it up. Sites are getting made, but general masses are still freaked out as hell to put their credit card in. Remember when you didn't want to put your credit card into a website? Mm-hmm. Like, there was no chance you were putting your credit card info. Now you don't even think about it. It's part and parcel. Where do you think we are?
It's even autofill at this point.
It's autofill, exactly, right. And then you have to, which credit card? But I think also the adoption is going to happen a lot faster than it did during that era because technology is faster. But where do you kind of, in your mind, like, see us? So you see us in that range, or are we earlier than that? Are we like really early?
Yeah, we're very early. We've said this a lot. Now granted, because we're in it and we're a little too close to it to know. We know all the ins and outs of setting up a wallet or even trading crypto before even NFTs were really popular or at least mentioned in the mainstream. So there's a level of comfort. It's the same kind of difference between people who grew up using the internet versus people or smartphones versus people who didn't, right?
Yeah.
And so I definitely think that we're still early. And there's with that means there's a huge opportunity for us to continue to get a foothold in the education of how we see the space unfolding and what we can do to make it a cool and enjoyable experience for everybody who is even curious, right? And so we got to keep it turnkey, and we got to keep the quality high. We got to keep the IP at a level that we have currently, so that people understand that with the association with these huge brands, that there must be, must not be anything to be afraid of. So that comes also with us, continuing to improve the platform as a whole and deliver, right? And there's it definitely is. I think it's as frustrating to us as it is to a lot of people in the community currently that we are behind on delivering some of those kind of big ticket items. But I think we'll continue to make strides now with Mitch kind of building out the dev team and having different kind of methodology and how we approached different things on the roadmap. As I mentioned, David and Dan were traveling quite extensively this month, meeting with new developer teams, kind of getting everybody on the same page and kind of sharing the vision and the mission statement, as well as meeting with some new IP within the kind of greater Asia landscape. I think this is an exciting time. We're all very hard at work and focused on making sure that all of those things that we've been talking about forever, seemingly, actually happen with the addition of some great new things that we've been working on.
For sure,
both technically and for other drops as well.
Yeah,
utility,
sure.
etc. Yeah.
Then, like, maybe one of my last questions is, I just want to ask you a personal question, Alex. Like, how do you? I know you and David, you and Dan, you guys are all close, and your team's close, and you guys talk all the time. How do you guys deal with the accusations and stuff that people are throwing out? This stuff, like, for me, a lot of it, like, just knowing you a bit and meeting you and knowing the team, like, a bit personally. Like, I don't know David very well. Obviously, only met him once or twice, but stuff like that kind of angers me just as a human, just as a person. And I wonder how you guys personally deal with that stuff. Do you shed it off? Do you want to jump in there? Like, when you get accused of being liars or cheats and from certain members of
yeah,
the community that are, you know what I mean by that? Because it's jumped up a lot
yeah,
lately in tweets posted, and it's really there's been a bit of a battle going on, and you guys are there, you know, you know, how do you deal with that, man? Because it's tough for me to not get on my keyboard.
You know, at the end of the day, it's.
I hope you don't mind the question. I just wanted to.
No,
ask
I don't. And I've spoken a little bit on this before. And at the end of the day, we take it. We take feedback and the fact that we know what we have to deliver very seriously. But at the same time, you know, this is the internet, and we've made ourselves very public and accessible. So that opens up, you know, anybody, you know, be it, you know, heads of a company that, or celebrities, or just random influencers, or whoever you are that has a presence and some visibility on the internet is subject to any kind of, you know, feedback like this. But that's not to say we don't take it seriously. We're not going to answer, you know, we're not going to be like, oh, you're right, we did lie. You know, like that's not, it's never the intention of this company or anybody here to tell falsehoods. I think really at the end of the day, things change, goalposts move, even for us with our licensors or regulations, or, you know, AML or whatever the case is, right? You know, the fact that we had expectations of when we could roll something out, and then things changed. It's just the nature of development in tech. You know, things change. It's just that we are so visible that it's easy to point to old tweets and say, you know, this didn't come true, therefore you lied. It's not that we lied. It's just things change. I'm sorry. Like, you know, ultimately, it's the blessing and the curse of being present and being available and being accessible. Is that, you know, kind of we're held to everything we say, you know. So, you know, the communication obviously needs to be better. We probably shot ourselves in the foot a bunch by giving dates on a lot of things that we had full intention of rolling out at the time. But again,
couldn't get it done.
Post move. It's not that we couldn't get it done on every case.
Well, I didn't mean it that way. I meant like, you know, like you said, goalpost change.
Yeah. So.
Well, no, that's good. I just wanted to ask you just personally about it, because, you know, it must be tough sometimes. You guys are working your asses off, and, you know, you can see that in the amount of work you guys are putting in. So, but yeah, you know, like, I hope you guys continue to, you know, be present and communicate and come on like this and be a part of the community, because there's people who, you know, are trying to stop that. And I don't like that. So I'm glad you guys are out there, but I want to ask, like, are you guys feel like you're on track? Like, just generally speaking, I mean, Mitch is there. I feel pretty good about how he's communicating. He seems really like just a guy who doesn't take any crap. And he's like, no, this is what we're doing. Bang, bang, bang. And it seems like he's there, you know, very transparent about, well, we found a glitch. We're going to have to bump it a bit. People don't like hearing that, but it's the truth, you know.
No, they don't.
But yeah, I get it. We see the, you know, like I've seen people tweet like in the beta program, they got their points, and I mean, this is like, I feel like it's pretty close here, Alex. I mean, I mean, you guys know.
With the last update was enabling that the beta, right? And so we're incrementally bringing more people into the beta to test it, you know, because there's really what happened is that when he first tried to roll out the beta, we had to roll it back because there were some calculations were stalling and things like that. And so it's just, that's what beta testing is all about. You find the issues and then you go back and you fix it, and then you can roll it out again. So, you know, obviously it takes longer. And I think that everybody wants it to, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we roll it out correctly and not, you know, tank the whole the whole app by trying to calculate some points and rankings and levels, etc. So I feel confident having Mitch on board. He's very thorough, and I like what he's done thus far in the background. Like a lot of the stuff that we don't even really talk about in terms of organization of the team, bringing on new team members. I've had meetings with new product managers that report directly to Mitch over the course of the last 2 weeks to discuss very specific targeted areas of the app that I'm hoping to have some influence on as well, from just listening to the community and understanding things that I need from a marketing perspective to make the app a little more sticky, a little more engaging. And those are things that I know he is receptive to and is hiring accordingly for. And I'm excited about it. I'm kind of re-energized, if you will, as kind of everything coming up to speed. And so now, we're just going to continue to kind of hammer at the infrastructure and the marketing elements that come along with some of that infrastructure building, be it CRM or user acquisition and targeting, etc. All of that growth marketing stuff that happens in the background that people don't see. What people see is like if they happen to be targeted by an ad, or Variety picks up an exclusive story. Those are the things that are visible, but there's a lot of marketing things going on in the background that are not particularly sexy, but are very necessary for the health and growth of the business.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I'll let you go here pretty quick, Alex. I know you're busy, but one last little question about, because this relates to me as a collector, if you don't mind, and in the comic books in particular, and you can give me as much info as you want, but I made a video recently about the golden age of scarcity. We're getting these drops. Again, we get another comic with a 5,000 mint run like today, and we got another one on Thursday. So do you have any insight as to why you guys are doing these low editions? Because at this level, is it strictly just adhering to the market, or are you guys trying to give us a little bit more juice, or you know what I mean? Like this era, I'm starting to notice.
Obviously, look, it's there's a number of factors.
And will they go back up? Will they go back up? Or this is a question.
Ultimately, probably. I mean, look, it depends on. We got to look very closely at the numbers, and in addition to sentiment, right? So sentiment is such right now that if a drop, we've set a precedent that a drop has to sell out for it to be successful, right? And that's never something that we've subscribed to, in that we're essentially a toy store, right? We want to have things on the shelf. Now, I get it. If something doesn't sell out, it's a little bit disappointing for either secondary market values or or talking to the licensor about, various licensors about continuing to getting a certain level of IP or first appearances, etc. But we're also taking the approach of we have to kind of feel out where the market is currently, what the threshold for people buying things on drop is, and making sure that we are not setting unrealistic expectations. So we've adjusted our drop sizes accordingly. And, in the case of a lot of the X-Men comics, for instance, that have come under, this is like an X-Men 60th anniversary year. And so, there's a little more juice behind making sure that some of these particular titles are highly collectible. Right. And the same thing with a lot of the Amazing Spider-Man and stuff, because those are so kind of coveted, as real world books. We want to make sure that we're not flooding the market digitally, so that it becomes like a total waste, not waste, but like at least so they're as collectible as you would kind of find in real world, right?
For sure.
And so obviously, early on, we had a lot larger edition sizes, sometimes up to 60K, 75K. I don't see that happening, for some time yet, but I think you'll start to see as we start to bring more and more users on. Some of the edition sizes will grow. But I think we just want to make sure that we are catering to the current community and fans and what their expectations are based on the current market conditions, be it macroeconomic or even within the smaller VV community. So
yeah, for sure. Well, that's fair enough. And I guess with We got a lot of questions in the chat about the queue system, or at least one person anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's all on the way as well at some point here, pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I see one here. It says,
Smart buy,
let me read this one. I think it says Q Q Q Q Q. So that's yeah.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know? What do you want to ask Alex?
So I think if you missed it, I think Mitch mentioned in our last community update that post phase 1 MCP, the next large priority is the queue system. So we should be seeing some movement on that with, I hate to say it, but soon.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in order of what you're doing, right? And okay.
Well, for now, and then you'll start to see like different teams handling different things. But right now, it's kind of all hands on deck on the things that we definitely need to get out the door, and that's at this time is MCP, crypto pay-in, which is already kind of in beta, and some other kind of back-end architecture type things, just for stability and re-architecting of certain functionality.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good, man. Oh, well, thanks for popping on, Alex. This is just for the moment. I sent you a link because of all the stuff going on. I appreciate you coming out and sharing this with the community, and hopefully people get a chance to watch this. I'll put this back out so people can see this, and then we'll see you I guess in the next time you're live. Are you going live anywhere else? Or you guys going to do any kind of Twitter Spaces? Or I know you had your Don't AMA back this past Friday. That was cool. So.
Yeah, but that's just me doing my thing. That's not Veve related whatsoever.
We get into it at times in there, though.
I don't see that as an extension of Veve at all. But other than I have people from the Veve community on.
We chat.
It's just something for me to do fun on a Friday night. But
live to community updates and stuff like that, or you have
So I think generally we hope to do we aim to do those every month, the community update in some respect, whether it's live in the Discord or the pre-recorded kind of YouTube videos. As mentioned, David and Dan are traveling for the entirety of the month, across India and Asia and large other Asian countries. So I guess it'll depend on what their availability is, or how jet lagged they are when they get back towards the end of the month. But yeah, we'll aim to do a community update pre-recorded as we have. But at the same time, if we don't, we'll do another kind of Discord AMA with Mitch. Nice. And those are kind of generally the updates people want anyway about product, right? So Mitch is probably the best person to have on those at this point. So he's much closer to it than Dan's taken more of the the actual COO role and kind of overseeing everything as opposed to being the product guy. So I think regardless of if it's pre-recorded or in the Discord or wherever it is, we'll definitely try to have something.
That's awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Get some rest.
See you later. Always a pleasure.
You're working hard.
It's only Tuesday. I ain't no rest for a few days yet, but
Start of the week. Oh my God. Okay, thanks, Alex. Talk to you soon.
All right, take care, everybody.
Cheers. See ya.